Are you interested to learn about electromagnetic waves or EM waves for short? Well, for you to know, these are waves created as a result of vibrations between magnetic field and the electric field. In other words, EM waves are composed of oscillating magnetic and electric fields. Electromagnetic waves is made up of various types of waves. These waves have different properties which distinguish them from each other. The waves have both a wavelength and frequency, which are inversely related to each other. This means that the smaller the wavelength, the higher the frequency. And that's not all. There are 7 electromagnetic waves that my group mates will introduce to you one by one.
Hi, I'm Sean. Are you interested to know what radio waves are? If you are, let me introduce to you what radio waves are. In 3, 2, 1. So the term radio waves refers to electromagnetic radiation with wavelength greater than about 0.1 meter. The radio signal is an electric current moving back and forth very quickly. A transmitter radiates this field outward via an antenna. A receiver then picks up the field and translates it to the sound heard through the radio.
Hey, I'm Rogel. I'm going to introduce to you the second wave in the electromagnetic spectrum, which is microwave.
A microwave is an electromagnetic wave with a relatively long wavelength and low frequency. That's why microwaves are useful for heating foods in microwave ovens.
Hi, Rina here. The third wave of the electromagnetic spectrum is infrared waves. The wavelength of the infrared waves are longer than those of visible light, but shorter than those of microwaves and radio waves. Ready to know more about it?
An infrared grill, instead of relying on hot air to transfer heat to food, uses an electric or gas element to heat a solid surface, which then radiates or emits far infrared waves directly into the food that sits on the grill's grate. Our eyes cannot see these infrared waves, but there are instruments that can sense infrared energy. For example, infrared cameras allow us to see the infrared waves emitting from warm objects such as humans and animals.
Together, we will further learn about visible light. Visible light is the narrow segment of the electromagnetic spectrum between about 400 nanometer and about 750 nanometer to which the normal human eye responds.
The light that we receive from the sun is a prominent example of visible light in real life. The sunlight appears to be white in color but contains a set of 7 colors arranged in a specific order according to the value of wavelengths. The light produced by an electric light bulb is yet another example of visible light in real life. The light energy produced by the fire can be seen easily by naked eyes. Therefore, fire is one of the best examples of visible light in real life.
The fifth wave is ultraviolet, or commonly known as UV rays. The UV rays has shorter wavelength than visible light but are longer than those of X-rays and gamma rays. Although UV rays are invisible to the human eye, some insects such as bumblebees can see them. Interesting, right? I'm Shala, and let's learn more about the applications and uses of UV rays or ultraviolet rays.
UV rays are present in sunlight, and when too many of the ultraviolet rays hit our skin, they can damage the DNA in our skin cells. It is the body's attempt to repair these cells that causes redness and pain. Sunburn is caused by large exposures to UVB and UVC, and repeated exposure can increase the likelihood of skin cancer. The tanning response is a defense mechanism in which the body produces pigments and inert skin layers to reduce exposure of the living cells below.
X-rays have wavelengths from about 10 raised to the power of negative 8 meter to 10 raised to the power of negative 12 meters. They have shorter wavelengths and higher frequencies than ultraviolet, so that the energy they transfer at an atomic level is greater. As a result, X-rays have adverse effects on living cells similar to those of ultraviolet radiation.
The widest use of X-rays is for imaging objects that are opaque to visible light, such as the human body or aircraft parts.
Hey, it's me again. The seventh wave of the electromagnetic spectrum is gamma rays. Gamma rays have the smallest wavelength and have the most energy of any wave in the electromagnetic spectrum. They are produced by the hottest and most energetic objects in the universe, such as neutron stars and pulsars, supernova explosions, and regions around black holes. On Earth, gamma waves are generated by nuclear explosions, light beams, and the less dramatic activity of radioactive decay.